وكذلك أوحينا إليك روحا من أمرنا ما كنت تدري ما الكتاب ولا الإيمان ولكن جعلناه نورا نهدي به من نشاء من عبادنا وإنك لتهدي إلى صراط مستقيم صراط الله الذي له ما في السماوات وما في الأرض ألا إلى الله تصير الأمور.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome to the program Muslims in America. The religion of Islam is the fastest growing religion in the world, and a majority of that growth is taking place right here in the United States of America. According to most reliable estimates, there are more than 7 million Muslims living in the United States of America. Muslims have become valuable and vital assets to the American society. So please join me as I travel around the USA and introduce you, my viewers, to a few of the many Muslims in America. And I'm here in the Islamic Community Center of Anchorage, Alaska, with my brother in Islam, Paul Rockwood, who's otherwise known as Bilal by the brothers of the community. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
And thank you for agreeing to spend some time with us, and it's really nice to meet you and all the brothers here in Anchorage, Alaska. But Brother Bilal, tell us a bit about yourself and how you came to Islam, and then, you know, how you came to live here in Alaska.
Okay, in 2001, I started researching Islam on the internet, and I wanted to know.
I mean, this 2001 is, I mean, it's an important time. I mean, this was after 9/11. A lot of things are going on in the world. So, did you find that a difficult time to be studying Islam, or did you find that it didn't matter?
Well, prior to that, I was researching religion in general. I felt I needed some spirituality, and after 9/11. Islam really wasn't on the menu, so to speak, as far as religions. But
what does that mean, on the menu?
Well, I mean, in the West, religions of choice are usually Christianity, Judaism, and maybe some Buddhism and Hinduism. And Islam is kind of like looked more at like you have to be from the Middle East or from Indonesia or someplace like this. But after 9/11, with all the propaganda, I decided that I wanted to do some research about it, find out why this happened, and I got online and started reading about Islam, the beliefs of Islam, not the politics. And once I got to the beliefs, I realized that it's not what people think it is. And I discovered Tawheed, which is monotheism.
So how long do you estimate that you had to study Islam before you decided that you wanted to become Muslim?
In all honesty, it took me about 30 minutes before I actually knew that it was the truth. And so once I accepted that, I got up one day on my lunch break from work. I went to the masjid, and I talked with the imam for about 30-40 minutes, and I told him I want to take my shahada. So I took my shahada. The brothers in the Northern Virginia area helped me with learning my Islam, and then about 4 or 5 years later, I moved up here to Alaska.
What was the reaction from your family? I mean, your immediate reaction when you came home and told them that you were a Muslim?
Okay, well, I was married for a number of years before I had accepted Islam, and I went home to my wife and told her, guess what? I'm a Muslim. And she said, thank God, you know, you're something.
Well, before she said that, did you have any expectation of what her answer would be? Or what her response would be?
I mean, she knew that I had been reading about it. She knows I'm one of those people that I don't just, I like to find answers for myself. I don't just accept, you know, what the media says about this or that, you know, that I like to do the research. And so she knew that I was studying it, and she was not surprised, because every day I would learn something. I would come home and tell her, you know, did you know this? Did you know that Muslims believe this? And, you know, did you know Muslims believe in Jesus and things like this? And since we were both Catholic, you know, that was very important.
Did she know? Before you were telling her this
actually, she knew better than me, because she worked in a dental office with some Muslims there. So she had some experience with Muslims, but I did not.
Now, after you became Muslim, I mean, how long was it after that your wife became Muslim?
About a year later. she had been, after I became Muslim, it was important for me, for her to understand Islam and understand the transition that I was going through. And she was reading books about Islam, and finally she read about basically the scientific miracles in the Quran. And for her, that was very convincing.
But I mean, in the atmosphere in your house, there was no pressure on her to accept Islam. This is just something she'd done by her own accord.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah,
and so, I mean, beyond that, what has been the reaction or the dawah efforts with your own family in terms of accepting Islam?
Alhamdulillah, it's been really well. A lot of my family have accepted Islam. My mother accepted Islam. My youngest brother, and also my mother-in-law has now accepted Islam. And the rest of my family, for the most part, they accept the fact that I'm Muslim, and they have no disdain for it at all, and they're very supportive. But there's, probably some members of my family who are, they say, it's good for you, but don't bring it here, don't talk to us about it.
But from your family members who accepted Islam, was that initially their attitude before they accepted Islam, or were they always kind of receptive to it?
My youngest brother was always very receptive. So he's a little bit different than the others. The others needed to really learn what it was about and everything before they would accept, yes.
Now, where you're living in Alaska now, but where are you originally from in the States?
I'm originally from a suburb of Boston, Boston, Massachusetts, yeah.
And how did you come to wind up to... And actually, we're in Anchorage, Alaska, but you're from a different place.
I'm from a different place. I'm from King Salmon, Alaska. I've just completed my first year there. It's a little tiny fishing village that's in the Bristol Bay area. I'm the only we're the only Muslim family there.
Right, but do you get an opportunity to talk to people there about Islam?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I talk with several of my co-workers. There's a lot of missionaries, actually Christian missionaries. I have a lot of dialogue with them. And there's been a couple people who are very receptive. And even though no one has really accepted Islam as their faith, they are very changed in their attitude towards Islam now.
Just tell me a bit about when you meet people. What are some of the most common questions they ask you about Islam?
Actually, surprisingly, it's mostly about women's issues. Because of the propaganda on TV, they have some misconceptions about how women are treated in Islam, and they're very surprised to see how Islam protects women and actually puts them on a pedestal and raises their status.
So I guess also there are a lot of women who approach your wife also to ask these questions.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
She gets a lot of questions.
Okay, and as far as the dawah, I mean, maybe not in your area, but in general, what you've seen of the dawah and the growth of Islam in America, what would you tell the people the outlook is for the future of Islam in America?
I'd say the outlook is very good. People are coming to Islam in groves. I mean, I just see it. I meet the brothers. I travel around a lot, and I see a lot of new converts, more sisters than brothers I've actually seen coming in. And I would not be surprised that if in 100, 200 years, the majority will be Muslim in this country.
But let me ask you your opinion on that issue, because, I mean, like you said, a majority of the misconceptions people have about Islam about women, and you said a majority of the people who are accepting Islam are women. Why do you think that is?
I think women become tired of the way they're treated in this society, and when they see what Islam has to offer them, I think they find it very attractive.
But what does that mean, tired of the way they're treated in this society?
In this society, a lot of times, not always, but generally, they're looked at more as in a sexual way, and they use them for advertising, and just kind of in a demeaning way, and they don't give the women the full respect they deserve. So when they learn about Islam and they see the respect and the position they have in Islam, they find it very, very pleasing.
Right, mashallah. And you were telling me something earlier about your son Zaid.
Yes.
Which, alhamdulillah, was very nice. Just tell me a bit about that.
He's 18 months old, and he just learned how to make wudu. He has a little chair. He pulls it up to the sink, and whenever he hears the adhan, he gets his chair, he goes to the sink, he makes the wudu, and I just tell him hands, mouth, nose, and go through it, and he does it all, and it's so cute.
MashaAllah. Well, Brother Bilal, it was very nice to meet you, and inshallah Allah, He reward you with your efforts with your family and with your son Zaid, and inshallah increase you in iman, inshallah.
Ameen.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
La ilaha
Muhammad is his messenger. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad Rasulillah. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad.
And welcome back to the program, Muslims in America. Our journeys around the United States of America has brought us here to Anchorage, Alaska. And alhamdulillah, we say that Islam is spreading to every corner of the United States of America. And we're here, alhamdulillah, in Anchorage, Alaska, and we find there are Muslims here. And I'm joined today with the very first Muslim to come to Anchorage, Alaska, and his son, our brother Musa Al-Obaidi, and his son Saeed. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Sheikh Saeed, just tell us a bit about how you became the first Muslim in Alaska,
yes.
But even how you came to the United States.
Well, you know how I came to the United States. Like I said, God planned everything. Okay? One day I was driving a taxi cab for 200, in Ramallah. Then one American came and ride with me. He liked me. He said, "Did you ever thought to go to the United States?" I said, "I wish I can, but I don't know how." He said, "Take this my address." I took his address. I had it for 4 years, and my car can't drive anymore because I have 4 brothers and I have a big family, to feed. One day, attorney came in the car. Then I took him to the village, and he left a newspaper on the seat. I look in the newspaper, United States, United Nations asking for 2,000 refugees came from Palestine to United States. Then I showed the attorney. His name Abdullah Rimawi. He said, "Yeah, if you know somebody." Then, I rushed, I go there, find the address. I wrote him a letter. Looked like Angel carried that letter and brought it to him to Arizona. And the embassy called me. They said, "We have a visa for you." Then I called my folks. They started crying. I told him, "Look, we have no food to eat. We have to do something." So United Nations, they gave me airplane ticket to fly to New York. Then I came to New York. It was Sunday, 1956, November 11. So I know somebody there, And Sunday morning I walk in the street. I can't talk English because I only graduated from third. Then, I was walking in the street Sunday. I bumped to one guy, and he looked at me. He said, "My God, you was driving a cab in Ramallah?" And I said, "Yes." He said, "Did you remember me and you? We live in the school. My father kicked me out and we live in the school." He said, "I remember." He said, "What do you do here?" I said, "Well, I'm here. It was so cold." He bought me clothes, to warm me up. Then after he took me hotel because I have only $23. That's all I have, dimes and nickels. Even the hotel, when they look at me, poor, they only charge me $7. For the ones I have 16 left. The guy really was so nice. He took me hotel. He bought me clothes. And after 5 days, he sent me to Denver, Colorado, some people here, to meet the man. He's in New Mexico. He was in New Mexico. And then we called him. He said, "Yes, I'm in New Mexico. Let him come." After 5 days in Denver. So what happened is I took the train and I met him. He took me with him around. Then he bought me a car, 1957. He bought me Chevy, 57 Chevy. And he gave me tapestry to sell, to go from, the street to sell the things. Then he said, "I tell you, I'm going to make a trip." I said, "Where are you going?" He said, "I have to leave." And he showed me the map. He said, "The red line, you go all the way." And, I said, "Okay, I don't know how to talk English, but I was selling those tapestries made in Italy, and here and there." He left. Then he came to Alaska for 3 months. Then he called from here how good Alaska. Then I heard he died after 3 months.
Here in Alaska?
He died after 3 months, yes. So they brought him to Los Angeles and they buried him in Derduban, his name Abu Kamel. See what happened. Then after that, next year, I said, "I'm going to Alaska." When I came to Alaska, I drove to Canada. I thought Alaska, I make it in 1 day, it was, Then what I came, I drive 7 days I drove to Alaska. I came to Talk Junction. How I succeed, really. When I came to, I carried tapestry with me, in the car. Then when I came there, I asked the people, where you go from Anchorage? They said, they're from here. I took the wrong road. I went to Fairbank. After 60 miles, I stopped in Dot Lake Lodge. I asked the lady how far away Anchorage. She said, you go wrong way. Where are you from? I said, I'm from Jerusalem. He said, sit down. I have a church here. I sit with him, and he said, what do you do here? I said, here I am. I show her the tapestry I sell and all that. She said, let me help you. She bought for $700 from me. I said, my God, this is nice here. Then I drove to Anchorage. Then I started going from gasoline station to the bars. Everybody started looking at me different because they never see like that before. Next year, third year, the government asked about me, the state of Alaska. And the state, they called me and they said, we need to talk to you. I said, what do you need? He said, where are you from? I said, I'm from the Middle East and, all this kind of stuff.
And what year is this now?
1958. But, I don't come to Alaska January. I go to Arizona after 6 months and I come back in summertime in April. They said, we like to help you. I said, what can you help me? He said, we like to give you 100 acres in Wasilla. Only have a little cabin in it. I said, no, I don't want it, I thought they're going to fool me. So I said, okay. It was 1965. One guy bought me the land here for $20,000, the frame shop. He said, I said, why you buy it for me? I said, we buy it for you because, one day you said you like to have a property here. I said, I don't want it. So I said, okay, I want it. I was selling tapestry in the street. Then I went to attorney office. The attorney, he looked at me. He said, what do you sell? I said, here. He said, where are you from? I'm from Middle East. He said, sit down. Then I sit there. I said, what do you do here? I said, I sell tapestry. He said, okay. He called the state of Alaska. They said, there is a man here. He need help. If you can help him. Well, the state of Alaska, 1977, they offered me $300,000 loan for 30 years, no interest. Okay, to build the corner.
Right.
My kids come into the school. Saeed.
Well, Sheikh, let's just take a break here because I'm going to ask Saeed. Now, when your father first came to Alaska, how old were you, and what was it like for you to? Were you born here, or you?
No, I born in Ramallah. And I was in California. And summer '72, I came to visit the United States. And I went to school over here. And
you went to school in Los Angeles or here in Alaska?
And Los Angeles and Alaska. And I make Alaska as a home.
And so how old were you when you first came to Alaska?
To Alaska probably was 19, 20 years old.
And how was it for you to come here?
It was different.
How many other Muslims were here at that time?
Nobody. There's no Muslim in Alaska. And just only probably 2 Arabs. That's me and my dad. And probably few wouldn't know.
Right. And I'm sure many people who used to be well known in the town.
Right, and the people in Alaska very nice people, different than the people in the state.
And then how is it that the rest of your family came here?
Just coming to school one after the other. I have another 2 brothers just came after probably a couple of years.
Right. And also they adjusted to it well. Everybody in your family now.
Right.
Okay. Alhamdulillah.
I brought 101 to United States, all over United States. Here is only my kids and my family. Then really what happened, the state of Alaska, they loaned me $300,000. I built a store next door. Then my kids, because I used to go to Mexico, buy some pictures and sell them. Then my kids, somebody learn us how to make frames and this kind of stuff, And we start making a living. It was very hard. But before we built the store, before they came here, I lived in the car one time, because I have bad luck between me and you. Then God grade. I've been so helped, from the people here. They are good people here in Alaska, really good people. So the state helped me in 1977 for $300,000. I built the store. Then we started growing. Then what happened? The state of Alaska helping me again to buy this property here for 90,000.
Mm-hmm.
In 1984, I built this building. I don't know what to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
But the money came from the state. I owe the state almost 500,000.
Mm-hmm.
So really what happened, I was sitting here, I don't know what to do. There is this lady with her publisher.
Mm-hmm.
They came, they said, what are you doing this building? I said, well, I'm going to open gallery. He said, well, I am the one who do Doolittle.
Mm-hmm.
I heard about her, but they don't accept me to start with. They accept me, then God opened everything. You know, she start with those pictures for $200. Now they jump into 3,000 to 4,000, and this is the way we start making living. Now we are here. We are the most dealers in the United States. Okay, but I tell you, the art business is very slow. Very very slow right now. But you know, me and my kids, we only sit and talking about religion, and we've been thinking all the time how to open a place, to open masjid, but we can't afford it. Be honest with you, we can't. And sometime I bring people to my house, to pray there, but they all start coming, 2, 3, 4 of them. We meet them by accident, by colors, you see. And one time I brought 6 to my house, to pray there. Then we don't know what to do.
So the first masjid in Alaska was in your house?
In my house. Yes, the masjid was in my house. Okay. Then what happened really? But I live in the store next door here. But me and my kids pray next door. Then I move across the street here. Then we ask the people to come to my house to pray there. Then we decide, what we can do to open masjid. To have place. We rent a place in next to way down in Old Sword Highway, little place there, and we started praying, 6, 7 of us. Then we started growing. Then I see a lot of people coming. Now we have over 2,000 now. If they told you 2,000, we have over. And be honest with you, we don't know what to do right now. Okay, and people looking at us right now. A lot of people become Muslim here. You see. Now there is the Islam growing in this town more than anywhere I see in my life. One guy came to me yesterday. He brought me money from somebody. He said, I'm a Muslim. He said, how you become Muslim? He said, I don't know what to tell you. Then I saw him in the masjid the other day. But now we open a school to teach the kids, even our kids, how to read the Quran, how to tell him to be honest, to keep from alcohol, to be from interest, to from everything. And I've been thinking, I thought if we can get help, talk to the bank, if we can get money without interest, they refuse it. I started laughing when I told him I need some money, without interest. He said, how we going to do it? So we try. But the way I came here, it was not even anybody who could la ilaha illallah. It's nobody. Then after, there is a lady, she's from Lebanon, Mrs. Michael, she's a very nice lady. I met with her, and she talked Arabic with me. I said, my God, you are the first Arabic in this city here. And now, I mean, to me, it look like village we have here. I mean, we are growing fast.
Yes.
Very fast. And I'll tell you the truth, I like to thank the state of Alaska and the people from Alaska more than anything in the world. When I came here, the most wonderful people in the world. I really they are. And still, I thank them every day and night.
Alhamdulillah, Sheikh, and your son, Saeed. Thank you very much for giving us some of your time. It's really interesting, first of all, to find Muslims at all in Alaska, and then find you and your family are the original Muslims here. And we hope beyond you is going to grow beyond the 2,000 plus. And I hope, inshallah, maybe some of our viewers who are in a position to help to establish the first proper masjid here in Anchorage, Alaska, will seek out. There's a website for the project that you can seek out to try to help to establish a masjid here in this growing community, which is in one of the remote locations in the United States of America. And it's a unique opportunity to be the first to have your sadaqah to be part of establishing the first masjid here in this place. I hope you have enjoyed meeting a few of the many Muslims here in the United States of America. The religion of Islam is the fastest growing religion in America, and I invite you, my viewers, to join me as I continue to travel around the United States of America and introduce you to the Muslims in America. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.